We are proud to announce that we are now partnered with Mago, and it's a very powerful interactive and collaboration software. So today's webinar is all around that journey, and to give you more guidance to it, we have fantastic lineup of speakers, both from Neat and Mago. I'm Suhej from NMK, and it's a pleasure to welcome you all to this Neat and Mago webinar, the first webinar of 2026 from NMK. When we look back 4 years ago, our journey with Neat started very humbly. At that time, Neat had only 5 SKUs, and the portfolio was entirely focused on Zoom certified devices. For us at NMK, it was a partnership with a brand that had a fresh vision of how meetings should feel. As the relationship grew, Neat earned its Microsoft Teams certification, and that shifted the landscape. Suddenly, organization was split between ecosystem, that the entire meeting room strategy was based on a native certification. That actually opened up a lot of business opportunities for us. And fast forward today, Neat has evolved just being the device manufacturer to being the platform itself. Now they have their own marketplace, and that has opened up a lot of doors. From simple meeting room devices, it gives you a complete room experiences now. So I would like to introduce you to Sebastian, Sales Director of Neat, who's going to run you through the latest Neat product updates. And then it'll be Chico, who manages alliances at Neat, who's going to give you a heads up on the new software and features. And then Cristiano from Mago will run you through the Mago experiences on Neat. And with that, we begin. So, Sebastian, you can take over.
Thank you very much. Very nice to see some of you in person or over video here. But welcome to the Oslo Experience Center. So I'm stuck here in Oslo, but you're seeing me from the meeting room that we call Fjell. Fjell in Norwegian means mountain. I tried to pack it in with as many of the Neat kit as possible. And I'll walk you through a little bit of our devices piece before we go into the software section of our story. But obviously, as you can see, I'm joining you from the Neat Bar Pro with no Neat symmetry, no AI capability enabled. But I can show you guys with the dual center setup here in a second that I have in the room. But to take just a few steps back, as a quick refresh. Since our inception in 2019, we've been sort of adamantly trying to solve the problem of creating a very simple meeting room experience for the small to medium-sized rooms. 2 categories of devices, the bar concept and then the board concepts. We have them in different sizes, recommended per room size. Today, if you're new to Neat or you haven't seen the latest updates, we are available on a number of platforms today. And then you'll hear a lot more about the Neat open platform from both Chico and how we can cooperate with Mago. Over the past few months and also recent quarters, we have announced some new products. Most recently, ISC and at GITEX, we made some announcements. And you'll see throughout this year, this will be a big year for Neat, and we're very excited for the new stories on our devices. At GITEX, a few months ago, we announced our Neat Board 32. Fits in very well with our collaboration and touch device story. So our Neat Board 32 is a 30-inch touch-enabled screen, perfect for those small shared spaces, personal spaces, or home office setups, where you have the plug-and-play all-in-one experience native to all the supportive modes that we have. It also supports BYOD, and it's designed in a very smart way because it has a quite wide-angle lens, and the microphones are both positioned on the side so that if you're in that tight space, you can hear people clearly, but also at an angle. The mounting options for this device, the one that you sort of could see here in the room, is the adaptive table stand. In addition to the 3 other stands you have a table clamp. So if you want to clamp to the table, but still have the adjustable experience that you have with the other board devices, you can have that option. Within the box, you have the standard table stand that you can see in this picture. And part of the story that you will soon be able to see and test at the NMK office is that ability to use it as your second monitor. This one comes obviously in a different form factor so that you can expand the experience to more content on a bigger and wider screen. At ISC, we made a new announcement. We are extending the pad or portfolio and family to one more edition with the Neat Pad Pro. The Neat Pad Pro is a 10-inch device, so a little bit bigger than our original Neat Pad, but it's also utilizing our 2nd generation platform, which means this device is actually 8 times more powerful than the original pad. It can be set up with all the different modes that we support today. Obviously plug and play with PoE. It combines, same as our original pad, has both a room controller and a scheduling display. So with the other app hub providers that we have, you can actually set this up with quite a number of scheduling or workspace management apps. When it comes to how we've made the packaging, our design team have done a very good job of minimizing this experience. So although the pad is bigger, the box that we ship the Neat pad with is significantly smaller. And one of the ways we've done that is it comes included with one mount. You know, if you've seen the Neat pad original version, it came with the option of a few different mounts. Now we've sort of eliminated the need for multiple components because it's using one mount that you can set up in these 4 different positions, you can call it. So you can use the same mount on the wall, on the glass, or on the table here. For us, it minimizes the size of the packaging, also makes the footprint more environmental, and also we can ship more in one container. So we're very happy about that story. So within the box, we then made it a lot more efficient of how we can logistically get this device around. And the last piece I wanted to highlight on our devices section before we go into the software. If you haven't tested the Neat Center, it's our game changer product. We have very, very positive feedback. And now over the past few months, we've made a few new updates to this story. The dual Neat Center experience that I have in this room today. So if I move around, obviously there's no other people to speak to, but you can see that the experience jumps to the different center when I move around. This is now available in the stable platform. You can use multiple centers to extend the camera angle. It's 360 degree on both of them, plus we say a 5-meter radius microphone pickup range. If you want to extend not only mic pickup in that room, the PoE device, it extends the range of both microphones and the camera. But within our Neat Center story, you can also extend this through a second feature that we call Neat Focus. If you haven't tested this, I would urge you to test it in the NMK office. Because for those complex rooms where you maybe need something very, very specific, or a classroom, or a presenter mode, or sometimes we even call it VIP mode setup, you can actually enable one of the centers to be fixed to one certain region within the room. One update I wanted to share today, I have a third center within our preview channel. So all the Neat devices can be run in the stable or the preview channel. You can actually set up and pair the device with the third center today. So the story is definitely evolving. Our large room experience is becoming more clear. With that, we made one new announcement at ISE, of course, and Chico will bring us throughout the Pulse story a little bit more. Chico, over to you.
Thanks, Sebastian. Hey, everyone. So as Sebastian mentioned, we have announced something called Neat Open. This was done at ISE, and we had a lot of great feedback from the market. So we wanted to make sure that you are all familiar with what Neat Open is all about, and how does that change the experience provided to Neat customers, and what partners can speak to when they engage with customers on Neat Open. Just before ISE this year, we announced that we now also have Google Meet certification. So for customers that are using these platforms and they wish to use it natively, of course, they can use our devices and have the best experience, both from a video and audio quality. And as we add more companion devices, that experience is just being elevated and at a very marginal cost. So that's another thing that a lot of customers are really appreciated about Neat, is the fact that we can bring this technology very fast and a very cost-effective way. Now, that being said, we also have some customers who have different requirements. So perhaps their rooms are being used by different companies. Think about shared spaces that are being used by companies that are upcoming startups. They don't necessarily have their own offices, so sometimes they have to share meeting rooms with other companies. And so the question is, how do you manage for those places? One of the things that today smaller companies tend to have is a BYOD approach, right? And the reason why is because a lot of their employees are using laptops to do their meetings. The minimum at most would be to have a screen, they plug in HDMI, and they can present and showcase what they're working on a bigger screen. But when it comes to having a video meeting, everyone has to huddle in front of a laptop, which is, of course, not a great experience. The other scenario is there's a webcam on the screen, and then your laptop is the codec, but then what happens now is that you run the meeting. And so if you are there in the meeting, that's great. But if you need to leave, then you end the meeting for everybody, right? So it, of course, provides a lot of flexibility. It provides a lot of benefits that the customers gotten used to over time, but it doesn't have all the benefits that come with a native experience. So there are basically some trade-offs. So what are those trade-offs? First of all, the IT team doesn't know what is happening in that space. Is that room usable? Is it not usable? Are there any issues with that space? Also, if you are the person with the laptop in the room, if you're using AI tools, every conversation that is happening in those meetings is attributed to that one person who owns that laptop. So that isn't obviously a great way of leveraging your AI investment. So yes, BYOD solves for some of those challenges, but it doesn't deliver the vision that we have in terms of what the room experience should be. We are here to change that. Now, when we started developing our own experiences, we of course didn't have BYOD in the beginning, right? We had native experiences, as I mentioned earlier. However, now all our devices today support a BYOD experience. We also have something called App Hub. App Hub allows us to support third-party applications on our devices. And the best part is those apps can be deployed to our devices from a centralized location, and that is Pulse. So today we have sold over 500,000 devices, and already over 250,000 devices are in Pulse. Why are companies adopting Pulse? Well, because you can monitor and you can manage these devices centrally, and you can also deploy, as I mentioned, apps to our devices. So for instance, if you're using a scheduling app, we've got many partners today, you can quickly deploy a number of scheduling apps simultaneously. But it's more than that. We started with canvassing or digital canvassing apps on our boards, but now we're also bringing other apps to our boards and now to our bars. So what we realized is that we could actually take all of these things that we've developed and a few more additional new things and combine it into one product, which is Neat Open. One of those other things that we have recently developed are AI tools. These are AI tools that are embedded in our platform, which can be leveraged by the customer that's using our device. So what is Neat Open? It's a new mode that can be deployed on our devices. They can allow you to do BYOD meetings, local meetings, but also you can leverage AI tools in the device to take notes on either two of those kind of meetings, remote or local. We also have now enabled wireless sharing of content, because sometimes you just want to come into the room and share content on a bigger screen, but also run various different apps on our devices. So in the near future, when Neat Open is available, when you start a device from scratch, when you open the box, you'll be able to choose which service you want to run on our device. So as I mentioned earlier, Zoom rooms, Microsoft Teams rooms, Google Meet, or Open. What is the experience when you have Open in our Neat device? So first off is you can start pairing your laptop to our device with a simple pairing key. You'll see a URL, go.neat.no. You'll see a code on our device. You type in that code in your browser on your laptop, and now you can share your screen onto the laptop. In addition to that, you can also start having AI notes taken for you. So this provides control as well in terms of the framing, symmetry, the volume control. All of that can be done from the laptop browser. It also allows you to do screen sharing, as I mentioned earlier. And it's not just the full window. You can also choose either a full desktop screen, or you can choose multiple different windows. You can be very specific of what you want to share on the screen. We have an AI engine in Neat Open, and that AI engine can basically provide you notes of what was discussed during that meeting. And of course, you can prompt the AI engine for more detailed specifics about what happened during that meeting. Now, coming to the next part of our presentation is about App Hub. So we can now run apps on our devices. That's been known for quite some time. However, we are now deploying different video app partners in our devices. This is very, very important to mention, because sometimes companies prefer to have something like a on-prem solution, perhaps not a cloud-based solution. Some of our partners can do this for you. And sometimes our partners would like, or customers would like, a solution that is not based specific region. So they would like to use a solution from their region. So this is something also we can now provide. And the best part is it's not just on our boards, but also on our bars and our pads. So ultimately, what does this do for our customer? It's basically freedom for the users. They can leverage either their laptop to do different kind of BYOD calls or video calling apps that are natively in our device. Imagine you don't have to have another device like a box connected to our device. The app is already in our device, and deploying it is easily managed the IT team. So freedom for users and control for IT. We're very excited about going GA with Neat Open. It's going to happen in Q2 this year, and so we've already shown some of this to customers at ISE, and the feedback has been very positive. And today we're going to do a highlight on one of them, which is of course Mago. So with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to Chris, who is joining us all the way from Italy.
Thank you, everybody, for joining this session. So I'm honored to introduce Mago to this important folk. So Mago is a software provider that offer better experience with meeting room technologies, with the best hardware, of course. And we work with the end users, and we collect daily feedbacks. And we work very, very sticky with Neat, identify the root causes and creating a solution for fixing this problem. So sometimes technology is not bad because it's not working, but because it's complex. So we talked about simplicity, we talked about the management, but the most important for a successful project is end user experience. With the best end user experience, we can offer joining multi-platform, so one-touch join, so the dream of every customer, and also sharing content inside the video call or when you are in the physical meetings. So at the same wave on any video conferencing. So 80% of the meeting of the customers are probably on the single platform, but the problem happens when they have to join a second platform or third platform. So in this case, IT try to fix, adding tools, adding cable, adding dongle, then there is security, Wi-Fi. So at the end is a mess for end users. And that's why the BYOM, it's not an option. Now is the standard. So we see shifting from the closed system to open system. And that's why we are perfectly aligned with Neat, because Neat offers a platform that is taking care of the simplicity of the deployment and also the management and also the best end user experience. And end users, when they try to present files and they stuck for any reason, they absolutely are not just 5 minutes wasted into the session, but if you sum with the number of the meeting rooms, it's a big number at the end of the year. So providing the best experience and also trying to fixing these top 5 trends that are around the world the same, we win together. So simplicity wins. That means user expect frictionless technologies for having the best experience. So also Seb talked about plug and play. So Neat is very, very, very powerful in this space. BYOM dominates, nothing to add. Interoperability is mandatory. An example in Europe, we have now a phenomenon that a lot of countries want to move out from American technology. So, and then we receive a lot of requests to add La Visio Conference, Open Talk, so new provider. And we are working on a framework to offer one-touch join, instant meeting, also on this type of new providers without having different UI UX. And we assisted about the closed system, talking about the certification, but certification end-to-end is impossible because complex room require a lot of connector, a lot of technology that are not end-to-end certified. So you talk about only certification of a small part. So, and the last one is AI. So very important to say that AI now find a space in every meeting. So we see the transcript, we see the summary. So basic feature are the winner. So introducing now Mago, that for Neat, it's an experience in single app mode because end customers love the idea to have a sandbox. They have a launcher for one-touch joining on any device. So we support all the Neat devices from personal and room shared spaces with Neat Frame, Neat Board 32, and then we have Neat Bar and Neat Bar Pro plus Neat Center and Neat Pad and Neat Pad Pro as soon as available, and also board. So for every type of setup, you can enable our app and join. So now I want to enter in a live demo. So, and it's much impressive to see that from scratch on my shoulder here, we have an out-of-the-box experience of Neat. I just created a group. And now I'm controlling, and in 3 minutes we are able to one-touch join in all the platforms. So on the right we have the pad controller, on the left the big screen, and what I can do now is going here, click apps, and choose Mago with controller. What's happening is now Neat app hub is installing on both at the same time, and in less than 1 minute the system is ready to be activated and configured. So just waiting. The pad is already waiting for the room, and the room is activating. In the meantime, I open the admin center of Mago. So we talked about the management, and we go to the room list, activate new device, and HK6F7C, continue. I use existing license because it's already activated, this device. I set the name of the room resource, so it's neat at mago.io. This resource is on Office 365. We can also have Google or Exchange on-prem. I want to connect the room resource calendar because I want an experience for one-touch join. So we have the OAuth integration with Microsoft. So we can just sign in, and now it's zero touch. So, and the system receive the calendar. After that, I want to enable an example join ID and PIN, the basic configuration. So just to start with some providers, Cisco, Mago Meet, that is a platform also available in our subscription. And that's it. So now the system is ready to start a meeting, and I'm just tapping on the controller, and you see that the calendar is here, the controller is almost connected. So, and we are able now to one-touch join. So just to test that Teams is working, I start the meeting. So 3 minutes later, we are in Teams. Teams is not a kind of Teams. So we are using Microsoft Azure Communication Services. So we are connected to Microsoft, and we have raise hand that is not available, an example in the CDI integration. We have also chat, and we can also enable an example instant meeting. But before, I want to show you when you share screen in a room, no need to be on the same meeting. So you open the laptop, I just press from the pad this code, and now my colleague that is 200 miles from here is able to ingest into the video call, Teams, Zoom, Webex, and so on, at the same experience, the share to call. So share to call, it's a way that immediately, without cable and with Teams, Zoom, Webex, offer a very, very powerful experience for sharing content. And now I want to add an example, one user on Teams, but also if I'm in Zoom or Webex is the same, I see my room here, and then I want to call an example myself. I have my phone not disturbed, 1 second. And I'm able also to push to call room and users of my organization. If they are external, I can send an email. So now I press call, and my phone is ringing. And now I'm in the demo effect, sorry, because I was in no disturb. And okay, so now I want to configure instant meeting before to continue, and also I want to set a background or digital signage. So from the admin center here, now I can go in my room list, and I search Neat at Mago. That is the name of the resource, video bar, and I configure the Red Bull policy, that is background that I pre-created in the admin center, and Glass UI. And now we want to add join as authenticated user, because in some BYOM rooms, I want to scan a code or open a browser and join as me and not as a room. I activate the distant meeting and chat, and then I press update. Now the meeting room is ready for also instant meeting. So start an instant meeting, I just press Meet, and now I can choose the provider that I want for join or for call, and I can start again a meeting, and the meeting is starting on the screen. And again, I can search for myself now to see if my phone is in the network, and I and now I'm calling on Teams. Probably I'm now in Teams and it's not available because I'm already in the call. At the end, I can do the same with an example, Zoom or Google Meet or Webex. So I have the same experience, new meeting, and I can also have the UI of Webex because we are partners of Cisco. Now is joining a session and entering into the Webex meeting. Okay, now he's connected and I'm alone into the meeting session. So you see the UI, the experience is exactly the same across different platforms. We have also a way, if you have a Crestron controller or third-party room control, to push a policy and have also the control on the Neat Pad Pro, so you can control lighting, climate, and whatever. Last but not least is the way to use the Neat symmetry. So you have also in this setup, an example, we have one Neat center here, and we can automatically connect or using the manual mode. So it's fully integrated into the Neat ecosystem. So if you want to have an experience with Mago, you can contact NMK. So we have experience center also in the region, in the Middle East. And we have also local people resident in Middle East that are product specialists and developers. And we cover globally. So we have a APAC representative, India, Middle East, and of course, Europe and US. Last but not least is the same configuration on the interactive screen. What is different is just the UI. So the UI of interactive screen is interactive. So you can press and then you can start the meeting that you want. And you can present following the instruction on the screen. And then we have added an integrated private whiteboard for collaboration. And we support the active marker of Neat. So that's it.
Thank you very much, Chris. I think you have really blown us by showing that wonderful demo of Mago. And with that, Mago and Neat, their focus is on AI that also builds the narrative what NMK is also pushing, that AI connected workspace is the way to go. We really thank everybody for joining in. Hope the session was fruitful and useful for you as it was for us. Thank you. Bye-bye.